Yummy Mommy, back with another video. So welcome to those of you who are new, and welcome back to those who are subscribed and are continuing to follow me every week. On Tuesday, we get a video every Tuesday. Don't forget, we get one video every Tuesday, and every Tuesday, please come back, show up, subscribe, and comment. So today, we're continuing our series that we're calling Countdown to Thanksgiving. And we're going to prepare another meal that's in my cookbook. And that meal is called Peppers and Peas Stew. Now, I do use ghee, of course. Let me step into the camera a little bit. This is ghee. This is clarified butter. So that one may not make it exactly vegan. But it is a vegetarian dish. But for those of you who want to do something a little different, you, of course, can add meat, pork, beef, chicken, whatever you like to it, to get additional flavors or to get things that you like to eat. Like I said, always make all the recipes your own. Okay, in this Dutch oven, this is a cast iron. Of course, you're learning a little something. I love cast iron. I'm a full Louisiana girl. So here's a cast iron skillet. I put 4 tablespoons of ghee into this pot. And to that, we're going to add a lot of vegetables and a few kinds of peas. Okay, we're going to add, of course, red onion. We're going to add a little bit of garlic, maybe about a tablespoon or 2. Of course, I love garlic. There's some of you who may not like it, so if you don't like it, leave it out. We're going to add a Vidalia onion. Take a look in the pot so you can see what's going on. I left the red onion kind of chunky because I want you to be able to, have a toothy, a stew. A stew has a little bite. So you want to make sure that it has a little bit of bite. We're going to add something called a leek. This is a leek. I know many of you know what these things are. I really probably don't need to go over them. But leeks are in the onion family. So we're adding a little bit of onion to this now. So you're seeing that happen. But there's a rhyme and a reason. All these things, onion really is so good for the system. Garlic is so good for the system. So good at building up your immune system. So good at gardening. You have a lot of people who eat a lot of onion. They haven't had COVID yet. Now, let me clarify. I'm not saying onion fights COVID. So don't start telling somebody that lie and that Yummy Mommy said it. But I'm saying that it could contribute to helping to strengthen, along with other things, your immune system. And the immune system is what we use to fight disease. So now we're going to add our peppers. We got a green pepper, a yellow pepper, and a red pepper. Okay? There you go. It is a colorful stew. It is very pretty. And it's very fast. Now, I use black-eyed peas, and I use lentils in this as the peas. In this recipe, I use canned black-eyed peas, and I use pre-cooked lentils. I do that because you can come home and you can cook this. You put that cornbread with it that I made in the previous video, and you got a complete meal. You can throw a salad in, but you got so many vegetables, I don't know why you would. Or either you can throw some whole corn on the cob with it. But you got corn in the cornbread, so I don't know why you would. But if you need something else, I would say make this the cornbread and the dessert. And I think you got a meal. Now, what I'm really doing with this is just really I'm not really trying to get it translucent. I want you to know that I'm not really trying to do it. Usually they tell you, okay, you need to stir this in until you get it translucent. I really want you to really be able to bite into these vegetables, It's a stew. You see? So now what we're going to move to is we're going to move to the seasoning. And I want to put the seasoning in because I'm going to put the peas in next. Now, I've already put all of my seasoning into one little container because I'm not going to show, I don't believe in cooking like, yeah, I put a teaspoon of that, teaspoon of that. You see the recipe. I'll include that for you. And I've got 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of Calabrian peppers. That's something that, it's kind of like a wet pepper, but it's more wet. You have to keep it stored in the refrigerator. You're going to really love it. I've got 1 teaspoon of turmeric. You can use dry ground or you can use the fresh. Now, I use the fresh. That's turmeric. That little orange little thing you see right over in the corner there, that's turmeric. The little red thing you see over here are the Calabrian peppers. Now, you could substitute just dry plain peppers, but you're going to kind of like the Calabrians better, I think. But I always use both. I don't ever count anything out when I learn something new. We have 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 2 teaspoons of white pepper also, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now, you see I've got 3 or 4 different kinds of pepper. Now, people say, why so many different kinds of pepper? Let me tell you something. Those layers of pepper add a different kind of flavor. You're going to get a different pop every time you taste something. You'll be like, one thing my brother taught me, all those young men are excellent cooks. And he says that people start eating your food and they try to figure out what that is, they'll be back to your table again. That's a tip for chefs that are wanting to own their own place. If people often, well, I got to take that, I don't know what that is, but I need to taste that again. So peppers have, they're not all the same. Black pepper is different from white pepper, different from red pepper, different from jalapeno pepper. Every pepper layer is different from cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is piquant, you see. So that's what we want to do. Then I got a 1 teaspoon of something called Bell's seasoning. That's a green seasoning with a lot of different herbs in it that are finely ground. You can get that on Whole Foods. You can also get the Calabrian peppers on Whole Foods too. Probably many other places that I'm not familiar with it. 2 tablespoons of mushroom powder. In this case, I use porcini. You might be able to use that which you put in your smoothies. You never know. But I mean that mushroom powder adds umami flavor to whatever you're cooking. It's another thing that says like, what is that? What is that? Gives it a wonderful flavor without adding the actual mushrooms. And we have 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. And you can see that is all in, the little yeast is on the top. And we're going to put this to flavor these vegetables. We're going to get that all over the vegetable. To flavor those vegetables. Look at that. It's coming into its own. Old girl doing a little something here. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to add these peas. Now, I cooked this for my New Year's dinner. I always make some kind of pea stew, because I was taught coming up that black-eyed peas bring wealth. But we're in a new society. Used to be whatever your mama told you to eat, that's what you ate. You don't want to do that anymore. That's not necessary anymore. It's too much food in too many different places for you to tell your kids that. So they did it because they didn't have a lot of food choices. They had gardens and other things. So whatever they put on the table, they were trying to help you to survive. But you don't want to do that with your kids. And that's why I'm adding a pre-cooked lentil. Now, lentil is African and Eastern big peas, another little kind of pea. Both the black-eyed pea and the lentil are very quick cooking. The black-eyed pea takes about 40 or 50 minutes, maybe an hour to cook. And these take about 30 to 40 to cook. Even if you get them dry, it wouldn't take you long to do it. But you probably have to try to do it the day before. Now, this has a little sauce in it, you know. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. It's okay if you don't. Okay? But it also acts as a little thickener for me. So you can just use the plain canned ones, you know. You don't have to use this one. Now, is that beginning to look a little bit like some kind of stew to you? So now, see that? That looks meaty. So I'm going to add, now, if you are a vegetarian, leave out the butter if it's not what you do. This is vegetable broth, and this is 32 ounces, and it has 4 cups in it. And we're probably going to use about 6 to 8 cups altogether. So we're going to open this, and now we're going to add 4 cups. I think it's 32 ounces, yeah. 8 ounces should be a cup. Okay. Boom. That was quick, wasn't it? So I want to put together something because I used to be a working woman. Sometimes I worked 70, I believe sometimes 8 hours or something. I can't remember. It was like, boy, if the illness wasn't going to give me the job was. Okay. So for purposes of this film, normally I will let this come to a boil. Then I'd add the next ingredients. But because, you know. Now what I want to ask you is how that looks so far. Does it look appetizing? Some people don't like peas, but this with a little bit of cornbread might be just what you need. The winter months are coming up. New Year's is coming up. And sometimes we don't want to eat the black-eyed pea anymore. But in this little stew, it might just convince you that it's a good idea. So, for purposes of this particular film, so we can go on with that, I'm going to add carrots. Now, that means that you probably, because I'm adding this, and I'm adding the next ingredient, I'm going to walk over here toward the camera to get it. And I'm going to add some potatoes. These are what I like. If you don't like any of these vegetables, you're welcome to leave them out. Or you can add any other kind of vegetable, root vegetables. Or if you don't want carrots, maybe you can add sweet potatoes, but you have to be careful because they boil pretty fast and they might break down. Just add what you like. And that's what you should eat. But I'm adding it all now. Normally I would let this boil down a bit before I added it. And then add some more broth because you don't want these potatoes to stick because it's possible for that to happen. Okay. And we're going to stir this in. Stir it down. This also adds to the little stewiness of it. You got potatoes, you got carrots, what you would have in a normal stew. You have a protein, which are the beans, the peas. So, and then you add a little cornbread, as they would say down south, cornbread. You add a little cornbread, and you have it. So, as Fumi says, do we love, darlings? Do we love? Do we love? So, this is my pea and pepper stew. I hope that you venture to make it. I hope that you enjoyed today's countdown to Thanksgiving. Some things that you can put on the table every day to get people, your neighbors and everybody. Some going through this panoramic are pretty down. They haven't come into the Christmas spirit. It's still hard for so many people. So making a good pot of this that's relatively inexpensive, just with things that you probably don't have on hand, may be helpful to feed a few people. And this particular pot can feed quite a few people. This can give quite a few bowls of hearty, good stew. So open up your doors and put on a mask and give out some bowls to take home. Because, hey, it's coming winter, we don't know. And see if you can make somebody feel a little better about what's going on in their lives. And always remember now, I want you to comment, I want you to subscribe, I want you to like, and I want you most of all to get up, do a little cooking, share what you got, be happy, and don't forget, I see you. I see you. Bye-bye.